Hi everyone, and thank you for stopping by to my channel. One of my favorite bands, Megadeth, has just announced today that they will be releasing their final album and going on a final tour, and then they will be disbanding. And honestly, it's really sad because Megadeth has been one of the most influential bands to me as a guitar player. I'd say Dave Mustaine personally is the godfather of thrash metal. Some may disagree, but regardless, they've been a really influential band to me. I have a lot of their merch. I have posters on my wall over there. Um, and they've always been one of my favorite bands, so I'm definitely gonna try to catch them on this final tour because I haven't seen them live, unfortunately, before. Um, but in light of that news, I'd like to do a Megadeth reaction video, and today I'll be reacting to the song Promises. Now, full disclosure, I've probably heard the song before, because I do remember listening to The World Needs a Hero album in the past. But it's not a song I remember. Um, as compared to other songs on this record. Like one of my favorite songs is Recipe for Hate Warhorse, which I think is a really underrated Megadeth song in their discography. Um, but I am familiar with this album a little bit. I know Al Pitrelli's from Trans-Siberian Orchestra plays on this record, and I actually really like some of his solos. I think after Chris Pullen and Marty Friedman, he's one of the best lead guitar players to play in Megadeth. Unfortunately, he's only on one record, but at least I think he's only on one record. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, um, that's enough talking. Let's get into this reaction video of Promises by Megadeth.
Two hearts that shouldn't talk to each other become close in a town much like a prison cell. People speak our names on the street in hushed tones, all the stories they tell. If anyone would listen, you come from a town where people don't bother saying hello unless somebody's born or dies. And I come from a place where they drag your horse through the mud because the old
Just gonna pause for a second. Okay, the intro is a little different than what I expected, but it kind of reminds me of Euthanasia era Megadeth with kind of Dave's mellow vocals that he went for on that record. And it sounds pretty nice. The acoustic intro and stuff, I'm expecting electric guitars will come in soon. It seems like they're building up toward that. I do want to mention there is one line that kind of reminds me of another song by Megadeth, and that is Washington is Next. The way Dave says I. Um, if you are familiar with that song, Washington is Next to You, I think you'll see the similarity when he says, like, I am a king or I'm a prince. I forgot the entire lyric, but it definitely kind of sounds like that. I'll go back a little bit and then try to hear it again. Right there. Yeah. Gonna pause it really quick. So I'm assuming that was the chorus. Um, wow, this song is kind of surprising me, but it definitely feels a lot like a ballad. And I know Megadeth doesn't do ballads that often, at least from what I've heard. So it is quite surprising. But the violin strings in the back is another rare thing, in my opinion, that Megadeth has done for the song, and it's pretty unique. I do like the sound so far, even though it is not as heavy as some of the other songs, but it's nice.
past the pearly gates, but nobody ever wants to die or get saved. Their intentions aren't that good, and I can smell the asphalt. That's their personal road to hell being paved. And when we walk down the street, the wind sings our names in rainbow songs, and it's much too late when the fear is gone. Ooh, I will meet you in the next life. I promise you, where we can be together. I promise you, I will wait till then in heaven. I promise you, I promise, I promise.
Just gonna pause really quick. Okay, I thought there would be a longer guitar solo. Unfortunately, it wasn't that long, but I guess it was pretty nice. The first one I think is Al Pitrelli. I could be wrong, but his guitar tone sounded more like Al Pitrelli's, and then the second one sounded more like Dave Mustaine. Hope I'm correct on that. But right before that section, right before the solo, I actually wanted to point out the bass sounded really nice in there. It was like a distorted bass, with lots of distortion on it, which I think is not that common for Megadeth that they use a bass with distorted tones. So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's continue though.
Where we can be together. I promise you, I will wait till then in heaven. I promise you, I promise, I promise.
Wow, and that's the end of the song. Um, okay, that was a bit surprising. I didn't expect it to be like a full-on ballad, but that's probably the most ballad type Megadeth song I've ever heard. But I can't say I didn't enjoy it because it was still nice. I think Mustaine's vocals were a strong point on this song. I do wish there was a long guitar solo. It was really short, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, overall pretty nice. Um, there was some nice strings in there as well during the chorus, which I really enjoyed. Um, it's definitely surprising because I'm more used to the thrash era of Megadeth for sure. But of course, Megadeth, as any band, does ballads every once in a while. So um, yeah, I just want to do this song, this reaction video in honor of Megadeth, and their final tour coming up, an album. I'll definitely try to react to that album if I can, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.